Hey again, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm taking a little break from work just to film this. One thing that I'm noticing as I'm practicing let's say, the Energy Dom advice I've been getting is that the moment I allow my body to rest, I get like extra lazy. I think I've always procrastinated throughout my life. I definitely have always put things off way too long, right? So I don't necessarily think that I'm lazier than before because I'm taking breaks throughout the day and, trying to work in a relaxed environment throughout the day. But it's more along the lines of rather than play energy, expending all my energy and distracting myself, this kind of more restful approach makes me feel like more lazy, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to word it, because I'm not doing nearly as much, and I can see that I'm not doing nearly as much. And one of, that's kind of something that bothers me, let's say. It bothers me that I have such little will to actually get things done. It's quite a surprise to me now that I'm paying attention to stuff like that. I guess fortunately, one thing that I'm also noticing as part of this, let's say, experiment of mine, let's say, is that although I probably am not nearly getting as much done as my peers and probably not nearly getting as much done as I want to, there seems to be this cycle that I'm starting to experience where I alternate between being really exhausted and not wanting to do anything but like distract myself, and being extremely energetic, focused, and willing to do a lot, right? It feels much more organic, right? So for example, right now I'm more tired, so I'm a little bit more laid back. I'm, dragging ass on a lot of my work stuff. But in a weird way, there have been several moments throughout my days these days where it's like, I have this, I guess because I'm so rested up, it's like now I have this focus and this energy to do things I normally wouldn't. Like I would prospect a lot more, I would be much more willing to do prospecting. I'd be much more willing to do paperwork even, I freaking hate paperwork, SI. But, when I'm rested up, there are these moments where it's like I'm fully charged. So now my body's willing to attack these harder problems. And so I bring this up not just to share my me story, although I need to practice that, but more so because I believe that this is, my suspicion is that this is the basis of all Energy Dom, let's say, behavior, right? There's this cycle, this organic rhythm of expending energy via play and preserving or recovering energy via sleep. And, it's not an intellectual project in the way that it might even be mistaken to be in the definitions, because sleep is often defined as going over known information. Play is sometimes described as learning from the tribe. So there's this information component that sometimes I think I would get confused with early on. But I think more fundamentally, I think Energy Doms and the energy animals in general is about this cycle of, okay, do you have enough energy to attack this problem? Or do you need to set aside time to recover that energy and be a little bit more lazy, right? So it's almost like it's like productive laziness, right? Where it's like when you're lazy, you're recovering so that you can attack the next problem with more energy, right? I think a few instances where I see this, I definitely see this in a lot of Dave and Shan's advice. I mean, that's kind of what's been encouraging me to do more of this stuff, right? So for example, they have Q&As called, 3 wheelbarrows, 3, productivity, do less more often. They have several Q&As. If you search up chores in the OP search box when you're in the class or the library, you'll see what I'm talking about. So anything that has the chores tag will be kind of their advice. And their advice is very much like, hey, it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to let your saviors run wild for 80% of the day, but you need to spend at least 2 to 4 hours doing your demons, right? Doing the hard things that you're avoiding. And there's this cycle of, okay, I did these tasks. Now I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to recover and I'm going to be completely distracted, but I'm using that to recover myself. And then they say, hey, then get back on the mission, get back on the path, right? So that's kind of the biggest area where I see this type of cycle being preached and being practiced. And then I think, quite honestly, just like people who are actually productive, right? Whether they're Energy Dom or not, but I think that's those people who are the most productive, in my opinion, they find a way to either rest when they're at home, like when they're at home, they're completely charged up, or they do the cycles throughout the day, which is what I see more so with the energy DOMs when I'm working with them, right? Where it's like, okay, you know, let's say they're in the office, they're only in the office until 12:01, and then they got to go home, right? Because they got to go take a nap, or they got to go get more comfortable, right? And then similarly, they'll prospect for a certain hour or a certain amount of time every single day. But then after that, they, you know, stop, and then they talk to friends, or they go, you know, watch a show or something like that. So, you know, I think I've mentioned this in past videos. I used to judge that very heavily, but now that I'm kind of seeing how unproductive I am, I definitely am not judging it. Like if you're getting things done and you want to take a nap to reward yourself and recover, I mean, by all means do that. You know, I'm trying to do that as well. So anyway, I'm probably rambling at this point. I just wanted to share this with you. I do believe that this cycle of alternating rest and work and, you know, is I think it's much more organic. It's almost like it's a rhythm that I think the body will naturally find once you're kind of practicing both energy animals, right? And I think this is something that energy DOMs are more experienced in, right? And I think this is something that my guess would be this is something that they highly value, not just in terms of productivity, but probably also in social relationships, right? Where it's like, okay, there's a time to expend energy with this, to build this relationship, and there's a time to recover from that person, if that makes sense. So anyway, those are my little thoughts for this week. Hope you got some value out of this. You know, if you have any questions or comments, feedback, feel free to put it in the comments. I also do have a snug. Some people have found benefit in that, having a one-on-one if you don't want to put things in the comments, or if you just want to, you know, spend an hour with me or something like that, perfectly happy to do so. So other than that, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next video that I make. Take care.